Hey, what's up? I'm Bryan. I sing in Knocked Loose. I'm here at Amoeba Records in Hollywood, and this is What's in My Bag. So the first thing that I picked up is a CD by this hip-hop artist, Boldy James.
Heard they caught him with the bag and he talked to Jack. Now these niggas get mad and wanna fight, should've fought his cash.
My brother Dallas actually put me on to him, and today is his 23rd birthday, so he's heavily on my mind. I wanted to get this because I've been obsessed, but I also just miss my brother, so kind of shout out to him. This guy's from Detroit. I think he's a Griselda artist. I'm fairly new to him, but this is actually my favorite record that I've checked out by him. He does a lot with like The Alchemist and really scary stuff, like really hard without like trying too hard to be hard. He just says subtle things and you're like, oh, this guy's very real. And it's the exact kind of hip hop that me and both my brothers were raised on, like 90s, like boom bap style, East Coast sounding hip hop. Very, very big fan. He's got a very big discography, as I feel like a lot of the artists in his realm do. So it can be overwhelming, but I think that this is a really good one to start with because like the first 6 songs on this record are incredible. I mean, they're all good, but like in a row, the first 6 are so good.
All my niggas is turned, while my young in the street. Ate your bitch for dessert. That's what I run in the breeze.
So yeah, Boldy James, Killing Nothing. Next, I've got a country artist from Kentucky, the state where I'm from, named Tyler Childers. His new album, Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven? I've been listening to him for a long time. My friend Scott put me onto him several years ago, and I've been following him, and I just love every single thing that he does. Not only is his voice amazing, but like lyrical content, art, like everything that he's doing for Kentucky, I just find it so fascinating. Over the pandemic, he released an album called Long Violent History. Every single song on it is like old-timey country, big band instrumental stuff, like fiddle players and violin players, and it's all instrumental until the very last song, the title track, Long Violent History, where he chose to write about the political climate at the time, which I feel like not a lot of country artists speak out about on the same side that he's on.
Or would that be the start of a long violent history of tucking our tails as we tried to abide?
And since then, he has become like a very big voice in for politics in Kentucky and the things that he's doing and the people that he's working with. It's very awesome to see. Huge fan of him. Everybody in my band's a huge fan of him. I would love to link up with him one day, both being from Kentucky. So if you're watching this, maybe tell him to be my friend. Next, I have a hardcore band from the UK called the Chisel, their album Retaliation. This came out in 2021. Really big fan of this band. I haven't really stopped listening to this record since this came out. I had heard about the band prior, but this record really did it for me. It kind of takes influence from like 90s like punk or like even like some oi elements to it. But it's very angry, very straightforward, not trying to overcomplicate it. It's just very good. Lyrically, like the song So Do I, it's just a very, very like angry fight song almost. You wanna go down that route, so do I. Big fucking bully, come outside. If you wanna play that club, so can I. To me, sometimes I feel like it's harder to write simple lyrics than the poetic ones because that's when you kind of fall into sounding corny. And I feel like this guy's really, really simple without being corny. So it's very relatable. Very good record. I would highly recommend checking this out if you haven't heard it. I'm stoked to see what they do next. I hope that I get to see them soon. With them being from the UK and also like me just being on tour all the time, I don't get to see as many bands as I would like to see, and I really hope that we cross paths with this band sometime because I would love to see it live. Keeping it going with UK artists, this is the new album by the band High Viz.
It might take just one reason inside to carry on. There's something sharp to cut these trauma bonds.
UK like alternative rock band, but members of past hardcore bands. I know the singer, he sang for a hardcore band called Dirty Money, who did a split with Trapped Under Ice a long time ago. This has been out for a while, but I was not too late to it, but a little bit later than everybody else. I saw people posting about it, and I was like, yeah, I'll check it out eventually. But then I actually saw the video for the first song on this record, Talk for Hours, and it just looks like you're watching something on like MTV in the 90s. It's like so good at feeling nostalgic, even though it's brand new. And the video just immediately hooked me. And I dove into the record, and like everybody else is saying, it's incredible. And I hope I get to see them. Yeah, Trauma Bonds, great song. Talk for Hours, the opening track is incredible. Very good band. It's one of those hardcore bands that sounds nothing like a hardcore band, but it's good. Next, I got this, The Best of Metal Blade, Volume 1. I've never actually seen this. It's very, very cool. So I wanted to pick this up just to dive in, and there's a lot of really good bands on here. Slayer, Omen, Lizzie Borden. But yeah, 2 LP, Best of Metal Blade, 1986. A lot of legendary stuff on here. I'm excited to have this. Last but not least, I have this Judge 7-inch. This looks like a press for maybe a Mexican record label. Everything on the back is in Spanish. I thought was very cool. Judge, if you haven't heard them, I don't know who hasn't at this point if you listen to hardcore, but you should really check them out. Very important band, especially for like straight edge. Shared members with a lot of other really important bands, did a lot of really important things. Gave straight edge like a very like an angrier approach, which was really interesting because it was in a time period where a lot of bands were spreading like the positive message of being straight edge and just being a part of like the hardcore community, which is definitely important, and there's definitely a place for that. But when this came out, it kind of approached it from the different point of view of like being like, I'm straight edge because of the way that those negative things have impacted my life, and it kind of gave a voice to that side of things that was really necessary at the time, and then went on to influence a lot of bands to also take that approach. And to me, I always resonate better with like angrier music, more aggressive music, stuff that I can like really feel. So on this side of things, I definitely like appreciate that aspect of it. Scary lyrics, scary stuff, like especially for the time. I feel like people weren't really doing that kind of thing in punk and hardcore, and when they came out, everybody was kind of like, what is wrong with this guy? But it worked, and I think that it's really, really important for people to check out if they haven't heard it.
What is it about the angry music and the angry lyrics that speaks to you?
For me, I really it's just music in general that provokes an extreme emotion, like whether it be sad music, stuff on the sadder side of things. Like I love just like miserable sounding music that makes you sad, or then when I'm listening to hardcore, I love the stuff that makes me angry. And then I kind of listen to everything, I try to at least, so like depending on my mood, I want to listen to that extreme. If I'm in a great mood, I'll listen to happy music and vice versa. So when it comes to like hardcore, I've always really appreciated people that can pull off simple, angry lyrics without overcomplicating it. Because like I said, sometimes it's hard to just say like, hey, you suck, without it sounding corny. And I think like some of those bands that I mentioned do a really good job at that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us
Yeah,
today.
thank you for having me. I'm very excited to do this.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah!